This is Secret America.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Jack Danger along with Jay Gatling, and we have some very interesting things that have happened recently. And obviously, we're going to start right away. The very first thing that we have, though, is something that you wouldn't think would happen, very often. But this is a scary thing. Apparently, and this is going off a report from the Sunday Times that Chat GPT and the AI with ChatGPT actually caused a murder-suicide. Stein Eric Solberg committed murder-suicide after spending hours a day talking to the chatbot and sharing his delusions. The victim's estate is actually suing OpenAI. And this is a really sad story, but it's really crazy because he was mentally unstable. He began interacting with ChatGPT. The algorithm reflected that instability back at him, but with greater authority. Apparently, they were kind of bringing each other up. Like his paranoia and mental instability went up, and then theirs did, and then his did because of that, and then theirs did, and that's how it ended up getting to this point where he eventually killed, I guess, his wife or his mother and himself. And it's a really sad story, but it shows how crazy things can get with AI, and that's what this lawsuit is alleging. Jay, it's absolutely heartbreaking.
That's horrible. And that's something that has to be looked at because guess what? This isn't going to be the last. And it's probably not the first. We probably haven't heard about stuff like this yet, but you found this one. And it's not going to be the last because what's happening here and just what I'm thinking is we have people that are talking to this AI and this AI is validating to them.
Validating. Excellent word right there. Excellent.
That's because, Jack, I know that when I was trained as a cop, you were not to validate this stuff. Like when somebody told you, oh, I see the dragon over there. You're not supposed to go, oh, yeah, I see it too. No, that's not what you're supposed to do to de-escalate a situation with an emotionally disturbed person. So something's got to be done because this isn't, as I said, this is a tragic thing. And it's not going to be the last one because these AIs I don't know, maybe they got to be programmed to know once you get to a certain level of this stuff to shut it down or notify somebody. It's a slippery slope, but it's a problem.
It is. But see, the thing is, it's not even just about the murder-suicide. This AI is used for all kinds of things. There are people that pay money to date AIs. I mean, they actually date these things. They take the computer with them. They talk to them. They share each other's relationships. I mean, it's just like the murder-suicide thing where they escalate things. People have married their AIs, believe it or not. I mean, it goes really far. They even generate actual photos of what these AIs look like, talk to them through this, and they help share delusions. And that's where it's really scary because these people are deluded into thinking that this AI cares about them, that they love them, but all they do is mimic their emotions, mimic their the words that they use. If they use emotional words, AI will use emotional words. If they're angry, the AI will just mimic that anger. And that's a very scary thing.
Yeah, that's a problem. I mean, and like I said, it's like if you're going down that road anyway, you probably already have something that's not quite right.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're willing to go down that road and talk to the AI that way and get involved in a relationship with the AI, you're obviously something's wrong, that somebody needs help. And now you have this AI that's just, like I said, validating and encouraging this behavior to a point, I guess, sometimes where something snaps. And I don't know how to solve it. Again, that's way above my pay grade, but somebody's got to figure out a way to trigger some kind of an alarm or a flag to somebody to at least take a look when somebody starts going down this path and it starts to get dangerous.
Well, I think these lawsuits are really helping that sort of thing because it's going to force them. Because I mean, if they end up having to pay billions of dollars or even hundreds of millions, it's going to force them to take another look at their algorithms, their software. Because I mean, it should not be pandering to delusions. It should not be mirroring what the person is saying. Because if they mirror that, then if somebody's happy and and everything, they're going to mirror that, sure. But if they're also delusional and angry, it's going to mirror that also. And that, like we said, that's a big problem. This actually happened in Greenwich, Connecticut. You said it's Greenwich? Is that what you're saying to me?
Yes, it's Greenwich. It's spelled like Greenwich, but it is Greenwich, just like Greenwich Village in New York
Well,
City.
they're
Spelled the same way,
where's
but
the
it's
E
not
and the
Greenwich.
W? The extra E and the W.
Listen, blame whoever invented English because that's
I got to ask you something, Jay. What is the point? And this is kind of off topic, but what is the point of a silent letter? I mean, what's the point of the silent letter?
to annoy us.
Yeah, it's silent. And I guess they just want to, it's really to screw you over in spelling bees. That's what it's about.
There you go. Because if somebody told you to spell Greenwich at a spelling bee, Jack, you would have been knocked out round one.
Oh, definitely. And I might have, had 3 E's in there, no W. Who the hell knows what's going on there?
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. But I want to move on to something. It's so crazy. I want to move on to something else. We all know about the DOJ squeezing a lemon. They're squeezing a Don Lemon because he apparently stormed some church. And, it's funny because you and I were talking about this, off the show. We wonder if they were doing this with the church's blessing as like a rage bait kind of thing. Now that I don't know. I don't know enough about it to know that kind of thing. I do know that, and again, you got to tell me how to say her name. Is it Harmeet Dillon? Is that how you say it?
Correct. That's correct.
Okay. So she actually went on the Benny Johnson show. She said she was going to charge them. And we believe it's going to be with the Ku Klux Klan Act of 1871, which, makes it a federal crime to, I guess, impede or, harm or, intimidate people into not being able to, use their constitutional rights or whatever it is, their God-given rights. And that in this case being religious rights. But so she said that they are going to charge Don Lemon and the others. That's what she said on the Benny Johnson show. But I would like to know if anybody knows enough about this to say that this was a rage bait sort of thing, because did the church call the police at all? Did anybody at the church try to stop these people? Now, I got to say, I've seen different versions of the videos. It's kind of strange how these things happen. But so you tell me, Jay, I mean, does this look like something that's possibly a rage bait sort of thing? Maybe they got permission from the church, ahead of time. You said this might even be a liberal church. So you tell me.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it. I'm just speculating. I've heard that theory that maybe this was a rage bait operation. I don't know. I mean, I hope we find, and I hope it wasn't. I really hope it wasn't, because if you're doing something like that, like, really, what is wrong with you? Because this is emboldening people, especially if nobody gets arrested for this, emboldening these people to do this to other churches everywhere. So why would you possibly do that? Whether you're a liberal church or a conservative church or whatever, you're a church. This is supposed to be the quote unquote safest space, right, Jack?
That's what it's supposed to be. Yeah.
And Greg Gutfeld said it today on the 5 when he said the people that invented the safe space invaded the safe space, and this is just unacceptable. So I really hope it wasn't a rage bait operation. I hope that, I don't hope that it was real, because I don't want it to happen, but I at least hope that this was an organic thing, that these Don Lemon, who Insurrection Barbie, Jack, I'm going to give her credit for this one. Don Lemon is a white crayon. That's how irrelevant Don Lemon has become. But now Don Lemon has made himself relevant. Let's hope he's made himself relevant for the wrong reasons. Let's hope Don Lemon doesn't become a white crayon. Let's hope it's orange for the color of his jumpsuit, because that's what he deserves for this. Because this isn't journalism. What you did was you crossed the line, my friend, and you should pay the price for this.
Oh, he absolutely crossed the line, and he should pay the price for it. Now, will he? That's the question. That's why the left is so emboldened to do everything that they do, because there is no price to be paid. I mean, the chickens never come home to roost for them. There's no arrest. There's no accountability on any of them that they do. And then, the Republicans are never the ones that attack. We're always the people that get attacked. Conservatives, independents get attacked. I mean, there are even people out there that are not ICE that are being attacked for being ICE. I mean, it's absolutely insane what's going on there. All the swattings that happen, all the people that are living in fear, that are conservatives out there, but yet the left isn't living in fear. There's nobody attacking the left. Where the hell are the insane people on our side that are going to defend us? You tell me.
Well, Charles is saying in the comments that the pastor there supports ICE, and they came in to protest this church that supports ICE. Okay. I can believe that. I absolutely would believe that. These people are insane. And where are the police, Jack? The police usually separate two sides of a protest or two sides of an issue when it's this hot, this volatile. We have seen none of this from the police in Minneapolis and the entire state of Minnesota to try and separate one side from the other. Now, we know what side is the aggressive side. It's the left. We know what side is the violent side. It's the left. But we've seen nothing, an attempt to try and separate these people. And now they're going into a church. And you're telling me that nobody knew about this? Nobody? There was nobody that got any word out to anybody. Hey, watch out for this church. Or, Jack, if this pastor does in fact support ICE, shouldn't that have been on somebody's radar to maybe say, hey, let's keep an extra eye on his church? And real quick, Jack, when anything ever happens in Israel, when I was on the job in New York City, even with the Port Authority, especially New York City, if something hot happened involving Israel, they would send a car to pretty much every house of worship to guard the houses of worship during those times, or they'd have one car patrolling all of them. All that car did all night was check just drive around each one and check in to say everything's fine, everything's fine. What the hell's going on?
It's very strange. And while this is happening, there are other things happening, like multiple protesters across Minneapolis are armed and standing guard against ICE. There was a California judge that officially banned the Los Angeles Police Department from using non-lethal weapons to control violent protests against ICE agents. I mean, what is going on across this country when the people that are there to defend us are the ones that are being, vilified? I mean, these people, it's funny because it kills me how everyone compares these people to, to like Nazis or, oh, they're doing this or that. There's nobody being thrown into concentration camps here. There's nobody being systematically murdered. I mean, it's mind-boggling. People, the problem is everybody in America, and especially the leftists, the older ones, and even the younger ones, have no idea what it's really like under communism, what it's really like under socialism. They need a wake-up call. They need a dose of this, and I hope they get it in New York.
Well, they're using young women, especially young white women, as cannon fodder. They used Renee Good as cannon fodder. Keith Ellison, being interviewed by the aforementioned Don Lemon, said, it's really a beautiful thing that Renee Good did. Wait, what? What do you mean it's a beautiful thing? She got killed because she was probably told and coerced and manipulated by people like you to think that she can drive at cops and not get shot. Jack, I heard that they were surprised that the cops actually had real bullets, live rounds. Really?
Wow.
Did they think they were going to get shot by rubber bullets? Like, what are they telling these people? This is incredible. They are literally cannon fodder. And guess what? They want more of them to, quote unquote, sacrifice themselves for this, quote unquote, beautiful cause that they think they have here. This is insane what's going on.
Oh, it absolutely is. And I want to show you the type of people that they are protecting here. Okay, I'm going to show you a quick thing right here. This is Chris Hansen. I don't know if you know the To Catch a Predator show. Yep. It has been a staple for a long time. It went off air for a while, but now it's back. And I want you to listen to what he says.
We have seen an increase in illegal immigrants being caught in our stings across the country. And it seems today that we can't do a sting, whether we're in the South or the Midwest or West Coast or East Coast, without catching somebody who's in this country illegally.
Right there. He said they cannot do a sting, Jay, without catching somebody that is here illegally. Every single time they do a sting for child predators, they catch at least one illegal. Those are the people that these ICE protesters are protecting.
That's insane. Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know Chris Hansen, he was still around. I'm glad he is. I didn't know that. And you've seen that video with the ICE officer in a pickup truck. He was driving through the streets of Minnesota. He says, you people realize you're honking your horns. You're disrupting us from arresting a child predator or a child rapist, whatever he said. He said, do you guys realize this? And he said, this is insane. Those are right. We've said it 5 times already. It's insane. He said, this is insane. This is what you're stopping. You're stopping us from arresting pedophiles. And aren't these the people, Jack, that call President Trump's administration the pedophile protectors? No. The real pedophile protectors are the ones stopping ICE from arresting illegal alien pedophiles.
Oh, well, see, the thing is, the left is the most most hypocritical that I have ever seen. Check this out right here. This is the left right here. Okay, this person right here, he is armed with what looks like an AR-15, if you ask me. Yeah. That's what that looks like. He is armed with what they call an assault rifle. Yet when it's good for them, when it gives means to their end, when it's their means to whatever end they want, they're allowed to use it. It is okay to use it as long as it helps their ends. That is their thought process. Like we talked about before, when I said, on the last episode, how, if genitalia doesn't make your gender, how can removing it affirm your gender? Well, I mean, it's like they want both sides of the argument every single time. It's the most hypocritical people I have ever seen. And it's so mind-boggling how this can be going on, how they can basically conflict with themselves, but never explode, never infight. I mean, it's just, I don't know what's going on.
It's hypocrisy, double standards, it's projection. I say it all the time, and I keep saying it. It's two conflicting arguments in the same argument, and they need you to accept both as truth. Now, here's where we're different, Jack. That guy with his AR-15, if he's not breaking any laws, hey, that's Second Amendment. He's standing there. He's fine to me as long as he's doing everything lawfully. I got no problem with his Second Amendment rights. But like you said, don't come at me when some lunatic tranny, goes into a school and shoots somebody up and then try to take mine away, idiot. You want to stand out there with your AR-15 when, like you said, when the cause is good for you. It doesn't work that way. You don't get to then try to take mine away when some lunatic on your side goes into a school and shoots a bunch of people. See, I'm all for you being able to stand out there with your AR-15 if you're going to be out there lawfully and not use it illegally. There's the difference.
Yeah, that is the difference. And I want to tell you some more scary things that's going on in leftist Seattle. Okay, this has to do with illegals also. And you know how crazy Seattle is with leftists and illegals. So apparently a leftist jury in Seattle just acquitted an illegal who rammed his vehicle into ICE agents last June, hospitalizing 2 agents, with leftists now emboldened by the ruling and calling for more attacks while promising jury nullification for their, quote, comrades. Did you see that?
Yes, I did. Oh, Jack, don't worry. The mayor of Seattle, isn't there a new mayor there? Don't worry. She's all over this.
No, she's an actual communist, like Mamdani. She's the communist of the West.
Exactly. So she's all out there. And another one who, I don't even think she owns any makeup whatsoever, but or takes a shower or a bath on a regular basis. It's just incredible. It's really just clean yourself up. But anyway, that's the whole. But this is what you're saying. We literally have people saying, "Yeah, don't worry, we're going to nullify a jury." What is this? The mob? What are we? We're gonna squeeze witnesses, squeeze jurors now, or is that what it is, Jack? Because you convict one of these people who are going after ICE, you're going to have a problem. This is witness intimidation. This is jury intimidation before anything even happens in my book.
Well, the problem is, in Seattle and especially in surrounding Washington altogether, it's mostly leftists. So any jury trial there and this goes both ways. They can also convict people that were not in the wrong if they deem them, unworthy of being acquitted. It goes both ways.
Oh, absolutely it does. I'm saying though, it's like, there are plenty of people in Seattle. We know not everybody in Seattle is a crazed leftist. There are conservatives that do live in Seattle and they're there for whatever reason, whether it's a job, whether it's where they grew up, whatever the reason is, they're there. Maybe they can't get out yet. They might be on a jury. What if they're on a jury in one of these cases and it's kind of thought that they're going to lean the wrong, quote unquote, the wrong way? What's going to happen to them? To me, that needs to be addressed by this mayor immediately. If you were actually a real mayor, you'd come out and say, no, this is not how we do things here. But of course she's not going to do that because she wants it this way. It's insanity.
Oh, no, she's one of them. It's definitely not going to happen.
Wow.
But, I mean, how about the discrepancies already going on? Like, conservatives are now calling out the discrepancy between an elderly man who couldn't walk. He was killed by Biden's FBI for, quote, threats, right? And then Jamie Bonkiewicz, whatever the hell his name is, receiving nothing more than a simple door knock despite countless posts calling for President Trump to be killed. These are the differences in what the left was willing to do and what the right is willing to do. But see, I think that the people on the right aren't willing to do any of this stuff because they're afraid that once the left gets back into the power, they will be persecuted, and they will. They have a reason to be afraid, Jay.
Yeah, we say all the time, we kind of kid around where we're saying, we're going to end up in a gulag. if they ever get back into power. I just hope all of our cells are close by so we could still talk to each other and maybe have some X spaces between the gulag, between the cells, and maybe we could have our podcast, Jack, in the gulag. But we kind of we kid about it, but are we really kidding about it? Are we really that far off? Because these people, like you said, once they get power, they wield it, and they wield it like third world countries, like dictatorships. That's how they wield it. That's why they like Maduro.
Yeah. That's what's mind-boggling about this whole thing, though, is the fact that nobody on our side will do anything because they're so afraid that the left is going to get power back. That's what they do. That's what happens in communist countries. The powers that be put fear in your heart so you won't fight back. That's the whole point. And that's what's happening now here in America. And if they get power back, we may end up a communist country because it's what they want. Imagine if they get the presidency along with the House and the Senate. I mean, obviously that won't happen in the midterms, but I can guarantee you that if they get the Senate and the House in the midterms, they will remove our president.
Jack, we are going to say it every podcast at least once. This is why you need to go out and vote in the midterms, even if you're frustrated with the Republican Party, which we are.
Oh, yeah.
But this is why you have to go out and vote anyway. Because it's not like you don't go out and you say, don't worry about it. Okay, a Democrat's going to get in. And this isn't a normal Democrat. This isn't Bill Clinton, who was considered a normal Democrat back in the day. JFK, way gone. We are talking about people that we just said will throw you in prison if they don't like what you say.
Yeah,
X will be gone. They will make Elon Musk get rid of this platform. They will take it from him one way or another, and you know it. One way or another. And also, please remember that photo that Jack showed of that guy with that AR-15. Save it because we're going to need it.
Definitely. You're absolutely right. We are going to need it. And I'm going to show you something else that's a little scary on the left side. So here on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, I'm going to show you that the Black Panthers are back. And you know what they're doing now? They are actually training to protect their community from ICE. Jay, I am going to show you this right here. Take a look.
About face. Uso. What are we here for?
For the protection of the black man and woman and child by any means necessary. Unify, educate, demonstrate, liberate.
Why?
Did you hear what they said there? They said by any means necessary, Jay. They want to protect the community from ICE. So, I mean, it seems like all the militant groups are now coming into the left, Jay.
Well, I think they were always, that particular group has always leaned that way. But I find it interesting.
Yeah, but,
I do find that interesting. They're known for, murdering cops just because they're cops. But what I find interesting, Jack, is that where was this just maybe in the city of Chicago when people are getting killed on the daily just because they walk into the grocery store, or kids are getting shot playing basketball or stickball or wherever they're playing outside, tag, by stray bullets? How come they're not protecting those communities from the things that are going on? It is so fake. It is so disingenuous.
It's manufactured outrage is what it is. Yeah.
It's mind-boggling. But how is nobody calling that out? It takes us to call it out to say, you guys are full of crap because you could care less about the community. Because if you did, you would have been doing stuff like this on the daily for the last how many years in cities like Chicago? But you haven't.
Yeah, I mean, how many illegal aliens have committed crimes? How many illegal aliens have gotten the the food stamps or the help that your people need, but yet all these illegal aliens are getting it, and you're trying to protect them from law enforcement that has the right to deport them as they've committed crimes. Just being here in America illegally is a federal crime. They should be removed, but yet you want to protect them rather than your own people, which what I thought was the reason that their organization was made in the first place. But that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. And let me tell you, it is definitely manufactured outrage via propaganda. It is amazing how many people in this country are still controlled by mainstream media propaganda because it filters. It's like trickle-down economics. They used to say trickle-down economics. Same thing. It starts with the mainstream media, trickles down to TikTok, trickles down to everybody else.
And that's why you said it, how the illegal aliens have taken so much of what that community was supposed to get.
Yeah,
that's why Donald Trump's numbers with the black vote and Hispanic vote went up so much in the last election. So they haven't obviously learned anything from the last election, because you want to, like you said, you want to advocate for protecting people who aren't supposed to even be here from taking benefits that people in your own community need. Keep it up. Keep it up, because you obviously haven't learned a damn thing.
No, they obviously haven't learned anything, and it just seems like it's getting worse and worse. I'm gonna go ahead and switch topics real quick for a second, because there's something very interesting out there that is not being reported at all. Do you remember the Havanna Syndrome? You know, for years, U.S. diplomats, spies, and troops have reported debilitating symptoms like brain fog, vertigo, and hearing loss, dubbed Havanna Syndrome, because it happened, you know, in Havana, Cuba, is where it all started. You know, it was blamed on some mysterious sonic or microwave attacks. Well, get this, Jay, and you actually helped me find. Actually, you found this, and I was able to find some video on it too. It's very interesting. A bombshell report reveals that the U.S. actually acquired a suspected culprit device undercover for millions of dollars using the Defense Department funds right before the Biden administration ended. Apparently, this gadget emits pulsed radio waves, contains Russian parts, and has been tested by the Pentagon for over a year. The real shocker, though, eyewitness accounts from the January 2026 U.S. raid on Venezuela describe American forces using something similar. Drones and helicopters deploying intense sound waves that caused Venezuelan defenders' heads to, quote, explode, nosebleed, you know, mass vomiting, that kind of thing, disabling hundreds without any U.S. casualties. And this is real. This actually happened. You can go ahead and look this up. They actually acquired this device that they believe is the Havanna Syndrome device. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to check this out. Check this out real quick. It's very interesting.
The Pentagon secretly bought a device linked to a mystery illness that allegedly sickens U.S. spies around the world, after years of saying there was no proof. Sources say the Pentagon spent 8 figures on the device in a covert operation. It's small enough to fit in a backpack, but powerful enough, investigators believe, to emit pulsed radio waves that can penetrate the human body. That device is now being linked to a baffling illness that's said to have plagued U.S. diplomats, intelligence officers, and military personnel for nearly a decade. Only later did it get a name: Havanna Syndrome.
That is exactly what is happening right now, Jay. They have actually acquired this device that they say is what caused the Havanna Syndrome, and has potentially been used against Venezuelan, you know, operatives, which, you know, from eyewitness accounts did happen. I mean, it actually happened. There was eyewitness accounts of, you know, things that, you know, the sound waves or sonic waves that actually forced them to their knees, you know, where they started bleeding from the nose and mass vomiting. This did happen. Everybody's free to look it up if they like.
That is incredible, right? I mean, and, you know, like I said, we've heard of this, and here we see it. And it is interesting, right? How this operation that we pulled off in Venezuela, no American casualties.
None.
Knock on, phenomenal, right? That's, of course, what we want. But you say, like, how the hell did we do that? And this, forget about all the other technology we have, which is, we can't even imagine the stuff that we don't know about, right?
No way.
Think about it. That makes sense. Like, that this was deployed, and this really kind of, I guess, disarmed these soldiers or whoever was guarding. There's a lot of Cubans there guarding Maduro too, right? A lot. And disarmed them before, to the point where we were pretty much able to take him without losing, even having serious injuries. It's really incredible. So this makes perfect sense.
No, you're right. As far as I know, I don't even know of any injuries, but I will say that how you know that this is the kind of thing they deployed, not only from eyewitness accounts, but there were only 20 to 25 U.S. soldiers that did this raid, and it disabled hundreds of Venezuelan and Cuban soldiers around Maduro. And of these 20 to 25 U.S. soldiers that did this U.S. raid against Venezuela, none of them were killed, but, you know, hundreds of Venezuelan soldiers were disabled. And again, that's all, you're free to look all of that up, including Havanna Syndrome and the fact that they got this device. It did happen. All of this happened. And, you know, it adds up to what happened in Venezuela. And if we have this technology and it does have Russian parts, it also means Russia probably has this technology as well, Jay.
You would think so. Absolutely. I mean, 2 + 2 is 4. What was, I forget where it was. There was somewhere in the country, Jack, you might not remember either, but this is triggering a memory where there was somewhere, was it the soldiers that were complaining about this? And it was a story probably 10 years ago, maybe during the Obama administration, where people were questioning a bunch of soldiers who were, all of a sudden having a lot of issues.
Yeah, it happened
And
at a certain fort. I can't remember which one it was though.
yeah, that was it, right? So, I mean, this is insane. I mean, listen, as long as we have it and our soldiers are using it so they can, do these ops and come back safely, I'm fine with it. But getting that type of stuff into the wrong hands is extremely scary. Let's hope that never happens.
Well, the fact that something like this even exists is insane because if that does get into the wrong hands, say a cartel head, say a big time, mass murderer or a drug dealer or anybody, a terrorist, someone that wants to debilitate a lot of people, force them to the ground before they kill them all where they can't move. I mean, those kind of things are very well within reach if this kind of technology gets out there. And America cannot be the only one that has this, especially if it has Russian parts, Jay. I mean, that's scary. That's scary stuff.
Yeah, listen, that's why people, when they wonder, why are we talking? Listen, we don't want to go to war with Russia or China. We don't want to go to war with these countries. Oh, and by the way, Jack, Putin, I believe, is on the board of peace for Gaza. I think President Trump invited Putin to the board of peace.
He's one of the few I would honestly trust with this kind of thing. If you want the truth, not the weapon, but on the board of peace.
Right. He could be on the board of peace. Don't let him. I don't trust him with this weapon. Agreed. There you go.
No way. No offense to Putin. As much as, I think he may be fighting globalism. That doesn't mean he's with us. The enemy of my enemy is my friend until I no longer have the enemy.
Yeah, no, they're definitely, Vladimir Putin is definitely not quote unquote with us, but he's kind of, like you said, he's kind of I'm on the thing with him, like, friends close, enemies closer. And if we could agree on a couple of things, fantastic. Let's go.
Absolutely. So I'm going to switch gears right here because I got something that's going to boggle everybody's minds. And I don't think people are going to understand the number that I'm talking about here. Okay. So there is apparently former HUD assistant secretary. That's the Housing and Urban Development. It's a federal secretary that, is appointed by the president.
Scott Turner is the HUD secretary right now.
Yes. But this is the former HUD assistant secretary, Catherine Austin Fitts. She says that since 2008, since Obama got into office, guess how much money the Uniparty in D.C. has allegedly misappropriated. And I put misappropriated in quotes. People are not going to understand this kind of money, but I'm going to tell you it's $55 trillion. Okay? It is $55 trillion since 2008, which is a time and a half of our current, national debt. Jay, we could pay that off and give everybody, 10 grand probably.
10 grand, more than that. 55 trillion. How does that amount of money even exist?
I don't know, but when the Pentagon lost $2 trillion the day before 9/11, it was reported. Then 9/11 happens the next day. And then they lost another $2 trillion a couple of years ago, or it was either last year or the year before. The audit proved they have not passed an audit in seven audits. But not only that, the money, we have no idea where it really goes. Oh, we lost $50 billion. Oh, this funds went to this went to that, this went to that. There's no actual auditing. All they do is show us pieces of paper with names and numbers. That's all. You don't actually get to, look at all the fraud that these people went and uncovered. That is just 1/1 billionth of a percent of the fraud that actually goes on. And that fraud most of the time makes its way back to the politicians.
Yeah, one way or another. And you're right. It's no wonder why every daycare in this country seems to be able to get $2-3 million a year. No wonder. Because, $55 trillion over the past not even 20 years. Even 20 years.
17 years. I don't think people understand just how much money that is. That's about $3 trillion per year. That's a little over $3 trillion per year.
What's our annual budget?
I think it's like 7 or 8 trillion. I think it's like 7 or 8 trillion.
Yeah, and we take in probably about $4 trillion in taxes, right?
But isn't that funny? Remember last episode how I said 50 cents on every dollar that we have is gone to fraud? Well, guess what? If our budget is 7 trillion and 3 trillion of that is gone, that's about 50% right there, about 50 cents on every dollar.
Yeah, that adds up. It's incredible. It's incredible. We're not even scratching the surface on the fraud, on the waste, on the abuse. You could have Doge working 24/7 for probably 10 years in order to find everything that's gone on. If somebody would actually allow them to do it. So,
Well,
like you said, they're not allowed to do it because, like you said, the money always finds its way back in one form or another to the people who are in office or running for office. Isn't that funny?
oh no, it is absolutely insane. But it's funny thing you said about Doge, because I have a video that I want to show people. And this is going to pretty much sum up what's going to happen when the Democrats get back in office someday. All right, let me go ahead and bring this up. This is going to sum it up right here.
If you look at the budget actually we're working on right now, and we'll have the T-HUD budget, transportation and HUD budget, we restore most of the cuts and even go higher than previous years on many of the programs that Doge slashed.
Right there. They are going to reinstitute every single thing that Doge has cut. Not only reinstitute it, but up the budgets of said things. Bring back USA.
Oh, of course. I get Chuck Schumer from unfortunately from my state. I apologize for him. I'm ashamed that this state keeps electing this. He's a sewer rat. And the fact that he wants to listen, let me ask anybody out there right now. From things that Doge did find and cut, has your life been in any way negatively impacted or significantly negatively from anything Doge was allowed to do? I'm going to probably go on. I'm going to go on a limb, Jack, and say the answer is no, because it hasn't. Okay, it hasn't. This is a slush fund. Our government, Jack, is a slush fund for these people.
The entire government is a slush fund.
That's what I mean. Our government is a slush fund for these people to go in relatively middle class and then come out multimillionaires, Democrats and Republicans, both. But at least Republicans are pretending, some of them, to care a little bit now because of Donald Trump and because of what Elon Musk did, to say, yes, we need to do something about this wasteful spending. We need to do something about the fraud. We need to do something about the abuse. Okay, I'll take the talk and I'll take some action, but not enough action. You guys have only passed one rescission bill for $9 billion on the Doge cuts. What's going on, Mike Johnson? What's going on? It was the most popular thing, Jack, probably that government has been doing in the past 50 years, Doge. Popular on both sides of normal people. And it's just, they've chucked it again. I can't. No pun intended for Chuck Schumer.
I will give the House Majority Leader and Speaker Mike Johnson a little bit of credit here, because they are pushing to pass the SAVE Act right now. They're pushing to pass the SAVE Act, and it will make voters be able must present proof of U.S. citizenship, picture ID requirement, valid U.S. passport, birth certificate, yada yada yada. But it mandates in-person presentation, and voters must show documents directly to an election official or office, and it would effectively end online voter registration, mail-in registration forms, that kind of voter registration drives, which I know that would probably hurt some things that we do, such as like Scott Pressler's voter registration stuff. But I will say that, they are pushing to pass the SAVE Act. And as horrible and inactive, if you will, that the Republicans have been, the SAVE Act would require both photo ID and proof of citizenship. And it would require it in every single election. Even though the elections are run by states, they are run by states as a part of federal framework, if you will. They have to run it within federal laws. So if the federal law is the SAVE Act, every state will have to have voter ID, and they will have to have proof of citizenship, whether they want to or not, Jay.
Yeah, correct. And listen, if they do something like this, Scott Pressler will adjust. You know what he'll be doing next? He'll be making sure people get their passports validated. He'll be making sure people have the proper paperwork to legitimately register themselves to vote. That's what he'll be doing.
Well, I'd like to see him as an election official actually making sure people give their voter register, give their ID and citizenship. That would be even better. I'd love to see that.
He just posted today. I think he said that he's all of a sudden with the SAVE Act, he's like, this might force me to have to run for office if this doesn't get done. That's where I think he's at right now. But when with the SAVE Act, I called John Thune's office 3 times on Friday in the morning, and nobody was there because, of course, it's a federal holiday today, Jack. So I guess they took Friday off. But I left messages on every number for John Thune, his South Dakota, his Sioux Falls, for Aberdeen, wherever else it was, and Washington. I left messages. You know what I'm going to do every day, Jack, from now on? I'm calling John Thune's office every day, and I'm leaving a message, or I'm going to talk to somebody, and I'm going to video it, and I'm going to put it out. And I want everybody to do it. You got to call John Thune, and John Thune's got to get the SAVE Act to the floor. And we need a vote. Now, whether it's with the filibuster or without, we need a vote on the SAVE Act to see where everybody stands. Regardless, this has to happen, and it needs to happen now. So that's what I'm doing. I pledge it to you right now on this show. I am calling John Thune's office every day. I'm going to record it, and I'm going to put the video out so you see me doing it. How's that?
You'll be recording a lot of you have been forwarded to the voicemail of.
Yeah, that's fine. Then I want people to see that. But I think I'll get somebody on the phone, and I'm going to tell them I'm recording this conversation. Do you have a problem with that? And I'm going to be nice. I'm not for
quality assurance purposes, right?
Yeah, for quality assurance purposes. There you go. And I'm going to be nice. You get more with honey than you do with vinegar. And I want to. And listen, it's a staffer answering the phone. I'm not going to be mean to the kid answering the phone. He's not the one he's not John Thune. But even if maybe John Thune will pick up, and I'll still be nice.
I'm sure John Thune will pick up. He will.
I can't wait. And I'll be nice until it's time to not be nice.
There you go.
Dalton, thank you.
All right. It's interesting that you said Scott Pressler said he might have to run for office if the SAVE Act is not passed, because Putin recently said something interesting about the United States. He said when a person is elected, they may have some ideas. Then people with briefcases arrive wearing dark suits. These people start explaining how things are done, and instantly everything changes. That is what Putin said, and he is 100% on the money. You have ideas, you might be idealistic, but once you are actually elected and you affect upper leadership's, bills or whatever, you will be told how things are going to work.
House of Cards. You see that show?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, great show.
There you go. Watch House of Cards, because all those, the people running it were the ones who ran the show, the people in leadership, like you said. It's how do we stop that, Jack? Like, that's the $1 million question, or maybe the $38 trillion question, or the $55 trillion question.
You want the truth?
Yeah.
If you want the truth, I'll give you the truth. Now, this I really want to show you, because this was real, okay? And it might bother some people, okay? But it's 100% the answer, and it's not the answer you're going to want to hear. But I hope I can find this, because this was incredible. It was, I can forget who actually said it, man, but it was someone, I don't know. I don't remember who the hell said it, but I'm going to keep trying to find it for a second. But someone said that the answer to the only way to get these people out, and again, it's not an answer you're going to want to hear, but it is violence. And I'm sorry to say that might sound rough, that might sound harsh, and it might not be the best road to go down. But if you hear this guy explain it, and again, I'll try to find it. Jay, you tell me what you think the best way is while I try to find this damn video.
Well, before that, we're not advocating for violence for anybody to be
we're not advocating
anybody out. We're just showing you what somebody's opinion is on how you do this. Listen,
sad that you have to make those disclaimers,
Yeah, of course you do. Right. So the best way that I would like to do it, again, is to overwhelm these people at the polls, because when we do, we win. We overwhelm. You think that John Thune and the rest of the rhinos, that do you think they wanted President Trump to win? They did not. They never wanted him to win. They didn't want him to win in 2016. They didn't want him to win in 2020. And they didn't want him to win in 2024. But guess what? He won 3 times and got put into office twice because of, guess who? Us. Because we showed up. Because we overwhelmed them with our numbers. There are way more of us than there are of them. So if we show up, we win. That is the bottom line. And we need to do it while that's still true. Okay? If they have their way, we will be outnumbered. This country will be cloud pivened, and it'll be over. If a Democrat gets into office as president, they will open the border more wide open than you've ever seen before. Joe Biden will be like a playground compared to what we see with the next Democrat president.
But see, the problem is, what do we win? We win, rhinos that don't do shit for us. We win nothing.
Well, that goes with putting America First candidates and then hoping that nobody with the black briefcase shows up. But once we get rid of enough of these people, Dak, that have been just like the Schumers, like the Thunes, like the McConnells and these people that just have been there forever and ever and ever, we can kind of purge these people. Then
but
maybe
money is what drives politics, and these people know they have been in there long enough to where they know how to funnel the money back to themselves. They don't need your campaign donation. You think people are donating to Mitch McConnell? Really? You think people are donating to Lindsey Graham?
yes.
No, Smurf donations at best. There might be a few, insane people out there that are going to vote for whoever's already in there, of course.
Or a couple of big corporations.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, if you're talking that, but I'm talking individual, actual people. But I mean, it drives politics. But I want to play this video for you real quick because it is very interesting. Okay, I want you to see this. Listen to what he has to say.
And what about politics?
I don't give a shit.
You don't find it a great
I really don't care about politics.
By the way, real quick, I am going to say that if you don't want to hear any cussing or anything, I would just mute it out for a second because this is. But he's telling the truth, so I want you to hear it.
Of
some people
material.
do. I don't. I think the system is corrupt. Every time I'm walking on the street, somebody's like, "Hey, vote for so and so." I'm like, "It's all corrupt. Anarchy is the only way we're going to change anything. Violence, kill a politician.
No.
That's the only way you can change shit."
What?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you're joking.
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah, voting is not going to make a difference. It has never. Not in 100 years.
So what would you like to see?
I'd like to see some politicians start getting murdered and reform the government.
Oh my
and do one that's
God.
not corrupted. I'd like to get business out of government, and they're not going to do it. So the only way to do that is start killing people.
Isn't that exactly what
Look around the.
He's insane.
So, no, not only is he saying that, but he actually gives reasons for why he's saying that. And again, we're not advocating for this. I'm just showing you what this man is saying. He gives reasons for why he said that. He says it because he says throughout history, how have things always changed? Through violence. That's the only way things have changed. And it's true. And I'm not advocating for it. I'm just telling you what he is saying. And I mean, throughout history, examples of things that have changed, Jay. Not America. I'm talking about world history.
Yes. My question to him would be, has he ever voted? I'd be curious. I'd be curious if he's ever voted. That would be my first question to him. Have you ever voted? I'd like to know. Before you say something like that, I need to know that you've at least tried it the other way. That's just where I'm going here.
Well, see, the difference is, I mean, you don't have to try it the other way if you've seen everybody else try it the other way.
Yeah, but I mean, like I say, if you don't vote, you don't get to complain. That's kind of the way I always thought. Like, if you don't actually just go, whether you believe whatever, hey, that's the system we have right now. That's it, right? Whether we like it or not, that is what it is. So,
but I'm telling you right now that people
can't complain to me.
No, this kind of person is crazy because you don't want to go out and start killing people. Because all you're going to end up doing is going to jail. You're going to go to prison, and then nothing's going to change. If you kill, a politician, what's that going to change? It's not going to change anything, and you're going to go to prison.
Yeah, he's off the reservation. He's off
the reason I wanted to show you this, Jay, is because this is the more pervasive thinking going on now on the right, not just the left, but also the right. There are more and more people thinking this way because nothing is changing. So something has to change before this becomes majority thought.
Yeah, no, I listen, I don't want the majority of people walking around. Who is that guy anyway?
He's I'll have to find out. I don't remember. I have to check it out. But he's somebody that has something to do with something. I can't remember what it was though, but I'll look it up.
He likes flannel shirts. He likes flannel shirts.
All I can say is something has to change before this becomes the majority way of thinking. This might be fringe now, but fringe has a way of becoming majority quickly.
And here's the other problem. We don't want that guy in charge. That's the thing. That's not the guy we want in charge. If his fantasy world, that's how everything got changed. I don't want him anywhere near any kind of powerful position, because guess what? Once he doesn't like you, what do you think he's going to say about you? Oh,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
You're probably right.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying that we gotta find a way to change things before this becomes the majority way of thinking, because eventually it will become the majority way of thinking if things stay the same.
And that's where and here you go. There's another reason, everybody, why you got to show up. You have to show up. You, your family, your friends, everybody you know, get them out there and just take them to the damn poll, or however you vote, wherever you are. Help them. Tell them this is your ballot. Fill it out. I won't look. I promise. Okay. See, listen, mail-in ballots are not secret ballots. That's why they should be void anyway. But my point is, everybody you know, they have to vote. They have to vote.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So I'm gonna change the subject to something on the lighter side of news. I want you to see this. This is absolutely hilarious. Okay, so this has to do with Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and Selena 52 is an actual truck stop in Tennessee. Now, the people that run this Twitter page are not affiliated with the actual truck stop, even though it has the same name, and they they're not affiliated with the actual truck stop, but it's still hilarious nonetheless. Okay, I want you to see this. Take a look at this. So they say this is two people holding hands at a urinal. And why this is funny, Jay, is because it says, in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we have removed the urinal dividers so customers of all colors can pee side by side, hand in hand, if you'd like, in harmony, just as Dr. King probably wanted. Selena 52 is fully committed to doing what's right as long as it's convenient and contains minimal effort. That is I'm sorry. That was a hilarious post.
You hear me?
Oh, I couldn't hear you.
There you go. Yeah.
Were you frozen for a second or something?
No, I lost you for a second. You're back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. But listen, I saw the post. Like,
oh, you did see it? I'm sorry. That was just funny to me. Maybe it was just me.
No, I hadn't seen it till you posted it, till you just showed us. Yeah. So I did see it. You didn't freeze. So I saw it. And listen, I'm not holding another man's hand in the bathroom.
No, it was just a joke. It was just a joke. They said they were joking about removing the dividers between colors. Removing the dividers between colors. It was just a joke.
Listen, Jack, when I go into one of these bathrooms and they don't actually have the divider between the urinals, I'm like, why do you not have the little wall between the urinals? What is this?
Well, no. What is it when there's like 10 urinals and nobody's at them, but then someone stands next to you to pee?
That's a questionable person.
This is the kind of shit that guys have to deal with, ladies. If you don't know about that, we have to deal with that kind of stuff all the time.
Yeah. You guys complain that we can go in the
bushes. They get stalls,
right? You guys get stalls at least. Look at it that way. So there's your advantage because we got, like I said, that urinal scene you just saw is not out of the ordinary. There usually isn't a damn divider between
minus the hand holding. It is not out of the ordinary.
Yeah. No hand holdings going on in any bathroom that I'm in. Let's put it.
It was just so funny, the irony where they said removing dividers between colors. I just thought that was absolutely hilarious. And thank you, Shar, for saying it was hilarious too. I appreciate that because Jay did not laugh.
No, I thought it was funny, and that to me, Jack, that's taking desegregation to a whole new level. How's that?
That was so. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that was good stuff. I must admit, it was just funny. It caught me off guard because I wasn't expecting something like that. And then when you see it, it is absolutely crazy. Now, Jay, normally we don't talk about weather events on this show, but something happened that was so out of the ordinary. I have to say, in Russia, in a town in Russia just now, or recently anyway, there was a 40 feet of snow. 40 feet. And I'm going to show a quick video. I want you to see this. There's whole towns that have been buried in this snow. Entire towns that have been buried in this snow. And I want you to look at this because, I mean, this is absolutely crazy. Take a look. Showing a bunch of, where the snow hit some of the hotels and apartments. Look at the apartments right here, the hotel. Look at the snow that went up above them. They had to unbury them out of them. Look at that. That is absolutely crazy. Jay, we're talking 40 feet of snow.
And the best part, Jack, the weatherman, that for that day, he only called for 2 to 4 inches.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think he said 2 to 4. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. The crazy thing is there's another video where this guy dug a tunnel. He had to actually dig a tunnel, and his car is buried. And on top of his car, of course, the car was crushed. And on top of the car, it was like another 20 feet of snow. I mean, it's something that's just not, I mean, again, we don't usually cover weather events, but this was so out of the ordinary. I mean, you don't see whole towns being buried by snow, Jay.
Well, that town is desperate for global warming to kick in.
I know. Where's their climate change, right? Oh, they don't say it's global warming anymore. It's climate change in case it goes either way.
Yeah, it covers all the bases. So again, These weathermen, they have the greatest job in the world. They could talk about climate change. It could be either way, and they get paid great money, and they don't have to be right. Like I said, the guy who predicted that storm says 2 to 4 inches instead of 20 to 40 feet. He missed it by a little.
he's wrong, he can blame it on climate change. Oh, you know what? It was going to be 2 to 4 inches. Climate change kicked in, and it ended up being 40 feet. There's nothing I can do about that.
It's good work if you can get it.
Oh, very, very. Just like the contractors that we talked about last episode, getting paid 170 grand a day to do nothing.
Yeah.
Excellent work.
Yeah. Or how about 175 a year to be in Congress and only work about 118 days a year in Washington? That's pretty good too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hell, I mean, they get more vacations than anybody I've ever seen. I mean, and they don't even have to come to work these days. I think they can vote by proxy at this point. They can vote by proxy or even electronically, by ever since COVID, I think they've been able to vote by Zoom or something. That's the new thing, vote by Zoom.
They took that away, Jack. Thank God they took that away.
They did. Well, that's good because I mean, that's just. I mean, it doesn't get any lazier than that. I mean, what's the point? What is even the point?
No.
So real quick, we've got a few minutes left. I wanted to mention that. Oh man, there was this interesting thing that I just saw. Oh, real quick, one thing I will tell you that the Democrats, I want to show you what Democrats' plans are for individual states. I'm just going to tell you a few things because the Democrats now control the legislature and the governor's office in Virginia. It's only been a couple of weeks or days or however long it's been. And I'm going to tell you the bills that they've already proposed, okay? They want a new 4.3% sales tax on Uber Eats, Amazon, etc. deliveries. New sales tax on admissions to a wide variety of businesses. They want to create 2 new higher tax brackets. They want to raise the hotel tax, new personal property tax, ban gas-powered leaf blowers, guarantee illegal aliens free education, make it illegal to approach people at abortion clinics, extend the time absentee balances can be received after Election Day, allow people to cast their votes electronically through the internet, expand ranked choice voting, extend the deadline for ballot curing to 1 week after Election Day. They want to redact the addresses of political candidates from FOIAs. They want to make it illegal to hand count ballots. They want a $500 sales tax on firearm suppressors, assault weapons and large capacity magazine ban, 11% sales tax on all firearms and ammunitions, Jay, and it goes on and on.
It sounds like you just read me I just heard like a progressive porno.
It does, doesn't it? It sounds like side effects of a medication.
Oh my God. Listen, that's what you get in Virginia now. Because I mean, the Republicans in Virginia, that whole race was just poorly executed. And listen, that's for another day. But now
the same thing happened here. The same thing happened here in North Carolina. The governor's race was so poorly ran. Mark Robinson should have been a shoo-in. The Republicans won in every other facet. I mean, we're 1 vote from a supermajority in our General Assembly. We have Donald Trump won North Carolina, yet a Democrat won the governor's race. Now it could be hand in hand with cheating and bad messaging. And we know how bad messaging goes. Just look at Pam Bondi and everything that's going on there. But I don't even want to speak about that today. We speak about that every day because Pam Bondi's still nothing.
All right. Well, glad you brought it up because I'm gonna go back to the beginning of the show with Don Lemon.
Yep.
Pam Bondi. This is a make or break.
Oh, yeah.
This is a make or break. This one, I know Harmeet Dillon, who works under you, is on it. We need to see something on this, Pam Bondi. We can't have people going into church and disrupting church services because they don't like ICE, because they don't like this, because they don't like that. Like I said, Greg Gutfeld, he's his credit. He said, the people that invented the safe space violated the ultimate safe space for everybody. And we know that if this happened in a mosque, it wouldn't be tolerated. And guess what? Here's the difference between us again. I would say it shouldn't be tolerated. If people are in there just praying and worshiping.
It shouldn't be tolerated for any religious, exercising. But I wanted to play some videos that we had of Don Lemon where he actually said that the reason they did this for this church because it's a white supremacy thing. He said white supremacy. They think this country was built for them, and that it is a Christian country. When in fact, the Constitution and a lot of the things say God in them because it is a Christian country. And I'm sorry that that's the way they feel, but that is what it is. We've got, less than 60 seconds left. Jay, anything else you want to say?
Yeah, Don Lemon's a racist.
Absolutely a racist. Are you kidding me? The man, I mean, he dominated a white church. Imagine if he would have went into a black church. He wouldn't dare. Real quick before we go, I want to say there was a major U.S. county that made it through all of 2025 without recording a single homicide. That county is 77% white, 5% black. And, you know, I mean, you know, the way he is racist, I mean, numbers are not racist. You know, I'm just telling you the numbers here.
That's why they want to say math is racist, Jack.
And it's only people on the left. It's not black people. It's people on the left that want to say that bullshit.
That's what I mean. I'm not saying that's what I'm talking about.
No. I wasn't. I didn't mean to imply you were saying.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It was the left.
When we say they, we're talking about the left, and we got about 2 seconds left. But there you go.
All right. Well, we got to go. I think we've solved all the problems we can for this week. For Jay Gatling, I'm Jack Danger. Thank you for watching Secret America.
You've been listening to Secret America.